What's up everyone, Vu of Envu Films, and I'm back with another idiotic video for you to watch. Today, we talk about how I capture good audio during the wedding day, ceremony, reception, and whatever else that goes on a wedding day. My first tip, make sure you hit record on whatever recorder you're using. Not saying that, just speaking from a friend's experience. Not that I've ever done such thing where I didn't hit record. I'm a professional. I hit record all the time. I'm very responsible. So in the topic of audio, I usually don't do this, but I'm completely exposing how I'm capturing audio for this trash YouTube channel, which is off of this dead cat, which no, I did not have a dead cat for Thanksgiving. You could probably eat the dead cat that this dead cat fur thing came from at your local Chinese restaurant. But anyway, speaking of dead cats, Chinese food restaurants, and Asian people in general, shout out to my boy Leo, who suggested that I do a video on how I capture clean audio for weddings. Seeing that Leo is also Asian, Filipino to be exact, so thank you for my friend in the Philippines for giving me the advice to do the video on this audio for the wedding. So, to start off, I'm going to go over the recorders that I use. So, that's the most important part. The recorders that I use for these weddings are the Sony PCM-A10 recorders. They are small, they are light, and they pretty much function the same as, your Zoom H1s or your Tascam recorders, but they are a lot smaller, and I'm going to assume the overall audio recording quality is the same. However, it has one special feature that makes it better than the other recorders, is the fact that you could connect via Bluetooth to your phone via Sony's app to monitor your audio while it is recording live. The reason why I use these recorders instead of wireless mics is because, I don't know, wireless is probably as reliable as your Asian friend showing up on time at your wedding day. Very not reliable. So I have an issue with that. I'm sure there's plenty of wireless options that are super reliable, but I'm just too sketched out about it. Once I hit record, I know these are recording, and I know 100% sure that I'll get audio and I could just sync later in post, which takes about 2 seconds. So anyway, I just want to go over the specs of this recorder really quick. I do not know this offhand, so let me ask my assistant what the specs are. My bit, what are the specs of this recorder?
Hello, Mr. Vũ Marathon. This recorder, Sony PCM-A10, it have the built-in stereo pair bit side microphone, LCD backlit. It support micro SD but have 16 GB of storage for your convenient. The recording time, it do the LPCM96K8G 24-bit at 6 hours in 34 minutes. Bit as in bit, not a stupid bit like you. And the LPCM48KHG 24-bit 13 hour. It do the 4816-bit at 19 hour, and a bunch of other option. MP3 48 kilobyte per second do the 636 hour, which is the amount of time I spent with your mom this weekend.
All right. That is enough of your trash analysis. That's enough of your trash analysis for today. So, now that that's done, one thing I like to mention, as my trusty assistant had mentioned, was that this thing lasts forever. I've literally never seen the battery on this recorder fall below anything. It is always on like max battery, always on maximum battery. It never drops below max. I don't know how it does this, but it seems to last forever. I mean, the only time I charge it is when I plug the USB that is built into the recorder into the laptop to transfer the file. That's usually the only time I charge it, and it seems to never ever lose battery life. So it lasts forever. It has built-in storage up to 16 gigabytes, so you don't ever have to put an SD in here. It has built it's bro, like it's the most low maintenance recorder ever. Great sound quality, great features. The built-in mics sound incredible, especially you could change it to different directions, and when you have it, when you wanted to talk into it directly, you would make sure that you point them both inwards, and you get a nice direct sound out of them. Dude, overall, like I know they're expensive, they're over $200, but they pretty much function as a small recorder that you could put in your pocket, as well as it functions a bigger, more robust recorder in a small form factor. So this really destroys the Zoom H1 and the Tascam. No doubts about it. Just for its overall usability, simplicity, Bluetooth connection, all that stuff. As you can see right now, I actually have two of these recorders, and I'm using it connected to this Chinese dead cat to record the audio for this YouTube, and I'm making sure that I do not peak, and I'm hitting at about negative 12 decibels. And to take it further, I can go into the app, which goes to my first point. As you can see, my phone could see the audio levels go up and down. I could adjust the gain levels, and I could hit stop, start, pause, record, etc., right here on the phone app. And which comes to the first point of why this is important to me, because I would take this mic, one of these mics, and I'll take this. Currently, the one I'm using is this Deity lav mic. I don't know which one. It's the only lav mic they have, but it's a Deity lav mic, and it's $49.99, and I'm very happy with the overall audio quality that comes from these lavs, and it's a good price. And so I would lav up the groom by putting this in the groom's pocket. Usually I put this in at least probably a half an hour before the ceremony, ideally 15 minutes, but sometimes things get hectic. Sometimes it's hard to find the groom, so I just make sure I get it in there early, and say it's half an hour before the wedding, I put it in his pocket, hit record, and we're good to go. And once the ceremony starts, I start monitoring audio from the groom. We also put one on the officiant, and the other one, which I'm using right now on this dead cat mic, I plug into a DJ booth. If the DJ has his mixer, even better, the speaker would have an output for me to use. So in that case, I will plug this recorder into the DJ output and get sound directly from the microphones that they use to project the sound. Now, sometimes some churches do not have anything like that available. So in that case, you have to rely on miking the officiant, miking the groom, putting a mic up on like one of the speaking areas at the church to get sound directly from there. So in that case, you need more than 2 to 3 mics, sometimes even 5 mics. And another trick that I do is the actual microphone that the officiant or whoever is using. I don't have a mic right now, but imagine if this is the microphone they're using. I'll take this mic, I'll hit record, and I'll gaff tape this mic to the actual microphone that they're using itself, and I'll record audio that way. And I control the gain depending on how loud they talk. Right here, very close, so the sound quality should be very good. And I do the same thing for the reception. I'll plug one of these mics, or I have another bigger Sony mic, into the DJ booth or the sound system, speaker, etc. And I would also tape the microphone if needed, if I don't trust the DJ booth or the DJ speaker, which a lot of times could be pretty iffy. I will also gaff tape this microphone onto the microphone. I'll gaff tape this recorder onto the microphone that the speaker is using to speak, and I'll get direct sound like that. So that is pretty much it in terms of how I make sure I get good audio for ceremony receptions of weddings. And I usually don't use the audio from like a shotgun mic, like this Deity. I don't even know the model, but there's the Deity shotgun mic. I just usually never use the audio from there because it's usually not good enough. I'm usually not close enough to get good audio with it. So generally speaking, I would use the recorders only. This is a more robust version of this recorder, and I only use sometimes. I really don't really need it because these recorders could handle everything you throw at it. It has really good built-in amps, and it handles the loud sounds from the DJ sound system perfectly fine. But this will be a one that I'll also plug in. It's the same thing. It's a lot more expensive. These run for around $230 each. This is about $500. But this is like pretty much the best recorder you could possibly buy with the Bluetooth controls and all that stuff on this recorder, as you do with this recorder. It just handles more. It has XLRs and all that jazz. It's a lot more robust piece of audio kit here. That could also be an option if you just want something that could pretty much handle any freaking thing you could throw at it. I'm not saying this can't. This could just, there's more professional functionality with this than there is with this, but this, you can't go wrong. Now, in terms of plugging things into the DJ's system, you need to make sure you have every type of wire or every type of cable that you possibly need in your kit. Like a Chinese food restaurant has pretty much everything on the menu: dog, cat, chicken, beef, squirrel, rat, you name it, they have it. So your cables, you need to have every cable that the DJ could possibly have. So let's quickly run through your options. So this recorder, the input is a 3.5 millimeter jack. So you would need a 3.5 millimeter jack to XLR female. This usually is the cable that goes into the DJ's speaker system. You also need a 3.5 millimeter input to a 1/4 inch male. You will also need a 3.5 millimeter to an RCA male. And I think those are the three main ones you need if you are going to be plugging in a recorder with a 3.5 millimeter input in it. Now, if you use one of these, which has 1/4 inch input, so you would also need the 1/4 inch to another 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch to XLR, a 1/4 inch to RCA, or you could also, in this case, this bad boy also takes XLR male inputs, so you would need XLR to RCA to another XLR or to 1/4 inch. And that's pretty much it. You should probably also include an auxiliary, because some depending on some ceremonies, the DJ will have smaller 3.5 millimeter Asian inputs into their speaker system. So you would need like just a standard auxiliary 3.5 to 3.5 just in case. But that is pretty much it. Now, rule of thumb, you always have to, with these recorders, I manually monitor the sound myself with my phone, while I'm away from them. And I always make sure that it does not go over negative 12 decibels. It might go negative 13 or negative 10 or something, that's fine, but try to make sure it does not go over negative 12. There's also like a peaking limiter in it, so that'll keep you from peaking if someone all of a sudden talks really loud for no reason. But usually just make sure that the sound never goes over negative 12 and you're good to go. And when you go into the editor, for me in Premiere Pro, what I'll do is I'll go into the system, I'll sync the audio with the footage, and then, just a simple edit with the sound. If the sound was recorded nice and clean, all I do is I set the gain to 0, and then I do a multi-band compressor to broadcast, and that is it. That will give you some nice beefy sound with minimal editing. I mean, if you want to edit it further, you go into your parametric, or you go into your other equalizers and do some more adjustments to change the sound as you like. But usually, for a quick and dirty audio edit, and even for these YouTube videos, I just put it in, gain to 0, and then I just do multi-band compressor broadcast, and it sounds decent enough. And that is that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something from it. I do not know when you're watching this video, but I'm making this video on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to you. And if you have any questions, please comment below. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. That helps me a lot. Until next time, lighten up.